let's talk some Eagle autism. You do a lot of work on behalf of the Eagles Autism Foundation and also got us involved in the cause. Can you share a little bit about why this cause means so much to you, Kai?
Yeah. I feel a little bit like a broken record at this point, but I had a neighbor growing up who's more like a brother than a neighbor. His name is Tim. Now our girls call him Uncle Tim. When I was growing up, he called me and my sister his sisters, my mom his girlfriend, and my dad the boss. So Tim was a constant. And because of the time of my life that I met him, it was just sort of second nature to interact with him. And it never really registered with me that we were interacting with someone who was on the spectrum. So when I got a little bit older and realized how impactful it was to have Tim in my life and to understand autism on a personal level in the way that having Tim did, it helped me decide on a career after college. I went to work one-to-one with individuals who had special needs, and shortly thereafter we started a family and then stepped in for the Eagles Autism Foundation, volunteering first and then in a little bit more of an official capacity now. But I just feel passionately that the Eagles Autism Foundation they are doing their absolute best to impact the autism community through programs, through research. Every single dollar donated goes back to the autism community. So it's That's awesome, they're very transparent about how your money's being used. And the programs and research are chosen through a very, very selective process. And it's built on the passion of Jeffrey because of his experience with his brother who is on the spectrum. So I'm really grateful that Jeffrey felt passionate enough to send the Eagles philanthropic focus into this direction. Mm-hmm. And I'm also grateful that they allow us to be as involved as we can be awesome. Year after year, because they really are doing amazing work.
Well, I'll tell you what, all the events that you guys throw to raise these funds look absolutely like they are just an absolute blast. I get the pleasure of joining the one in Seattle. Unfortunately, I had to leave early this year, but it's always just so much fun. And you guys also have the 10-mile bike ride, correct?
That's the Eagles Autism Challenge.
Ooh, nice.
There's actually more than just a 10-mile bike ride. You can it's a 5, you can either do a 10-mile bike.
He knows this.
You can do a 10-mile bike, 5K. Well, it was 30, but there used to be a 60. I didn't know which one
50.
we took down. 50.
He's scrambling.
You can't do the 50 anymore, but there's still a 30-mile
Just trust
bike
it,
ride.
Jason. Just trust it.
And I'm not going to lie. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. The 10-mile bike ride, you're riding in the streets of Philadelphia, but most of the people aren't like experienced bike riders. So like there's cars all over the place.
We used to have.
Dude, I watched Howard Eskin almost die. Just like he's on the radio, talking on the radio. He's on the radio, doing a radio spot, the king of sports media.
This is not good.
And this dude is talking on the radio, runs right through a red light, like not even thinking twice. Cars have to slam on their brakes. And then later in the race, he almost got hit.
Everyone knows it's illegal to be on the radio and drive a bike. You're not supposed to be
it's
doing
not even,
that.
it's just that the fact is like most of the people riding the bikes are doing it for a good cause. But because there's so many cars out on the street, it's not like you're just riding your bike through the park. Like you're on Broad Street in Philadelphia, there's going to be some cars. And we changed the route this year, I think, for that reason, to try and make it less vehicular manslaughter friendly.
Jason. Oh my God.
Well, that'd be smart. That's a good thing. This is a good thing, Kylie. This is a good thing.
So this year, for that exact reason, we got together with our production company who helps put the route together, and also Philadelphia Police Department and like the city officials to figure out a way to solve this problem. And
then AJ Brown almost got hit by a car.
He was on Instagram Live.
He was on Instagram.
If there's anybody that can get hit by a car and be okay.
There is a trend. All the people that have been almost struck by vehicles have been on some type of media. AJ Brown was on Instagram Live when he almost got hit by a car.
To be clear, all of this feedback is coming from a guy who at some point called me and said,
I get lost every year. I have to find my way back to the
what road is the way back? He is the only one who gets lost. The only one.
Travis knows this hits a little too close to home. I've never been
because he got
directions
this
around.
is so fucking
I still remember the
gold.
story
Oh my gosh.
about when he got lost 2 blocks from home and had to go knock on someone's
2
door to call your
blocks.
dad. 2 blocks.
Over on S-
Call
2
your dad and be
blocks.
like, hey, Dad, I don't know how to get home.
And he was at a friend's house that he goes to a lot.
He was like 13.
I was not 13.
He was in high school. I'm telling you.
So anyways, yeah, if you're looking to support a bunch of families and a great foundation, or if you just want to roll the dice and see a bunch of exciting events where people almost get hit by vehicles, come on down and participate in the Eagles Autism Challenge.
No.
This is awesome.
We can cut all this out. It's fine.
Yeah, obviously.
So there's the Eagles Autism Challenge, which we just talked about, and then the Team 62 fundraiser out in Sea Isle. That this year raised $380K alone just this year.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
the part of.
We actually got up into the 400s, I believe,
Oh, really?
because of a few things that rolled in after the fact. But yeah, the OD again. We love it there.
Those shorebirds. Oh,
Yep.
man.
Yeah, and everyone comes feeling generous, and they help us crush our previous year's record. So
Feeling generous is pretty funny because really it's just everybody comes up there thirsty and ready to drink.
That's right. Yeah, have a little fun. But I mean, but it's not
Whatever
even just
works.
that.
Everybody
day.
at
You
the
know,
shore
there's-
is spending their money on alcohol and Ritas. That is it. It's those two things. And
the Ritas
that's
is
why
free.
everyone keeps coming back.
Ritas is free. The Ritas is free at the event.
All right now.
But it's more than just the people. Like we had so many sponsors, and Kylie and Ryan, the head of the Eagles Autism Foundation, they do so much work setting up different sponsorships, different corporate donors that have like different things at the event. A lot of my teammates came out this year. This is the most amount of Eagles players we've had at the event. So I mean, there was a lot of support from a lot of people this year. So we did not expect anything like that. I don't think it's crazy how much money it's raised.
That's how you know you guys are doing it right.
Honestly, Ryan does a really good job of, she says that it's add water and stir. So a good example is we have,
Kool-Aid?
I guess, we have,
Don't forget that sugar now.
we have Radiothon coming up
right,
that,
Why doesn't Kool-Aid come with the sugar in it? I feel like
Jason,
they're
let Kylie
skimping on the
talk.
ingredient. Oh, sorry. Have we ever had
asking
Kool-Aid?
me, no,
You've never had Kool-Aid ever?
you said, have we ever had
I
Kool-Aid?
did say that. We've never had Kool-Aid.
We do not have Kool-Aid in our home right now,
Does Whole
but
Foods sell Kool-Aid?
You got Wyatt's never had Kool-Aid?
This is a crime. We need to change this.
She is
know what
way too
Travis
old
is
not
coming
to
in
have
with.
had Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm about to come through like the Kool-Aid
to
man.
be fair,
Just
she
knocking down
She had
walls.
accelerator.
she would house. No, she has not.
What? What did he just say?
He said she's had accelerator.
You cannot get catfeed to kids.
Plant-based thermogenics.
That'll help her stay awake for 5 days straight.
I don't really know where to go from here.
Just close it out.
Please.
Just close out that
Please.
section.
No. We're just getting started, guys.
Please.
That's only...
That was the
I'm
first.
done now?
That was the
That
first
is
segment.
the
You got
first segment.
10 more
That
segments.
probably
to
should
go.
have taken 10 to 15 minutes.
Just making it abundantly clear why when I'm like, oh no, they'll be done 4 hours from now, and I still can't get a fucking answer from Jason to be like, we're done, you can come home now.
Sure, we'll be able to post a link so that all our 92%ers can get involved or continue to be involved in helping the Eagles Autism Foundation. And it's awesome to hear that, you know what I mean, you found that that love to give back. Well, let's move on to no dumb questions.
Hey-o!
Because there's no dumb questions. There's just dumb people.
Nice, Kai. Good job.
I appreciate you joining
You're welcome.
these two dummies. No Dumb Questions is brought to you by our friends at Accelerator. Accelerator Active Energy Drink. Got those plant-based thermogenics that you need to get through and answer any not dumb question. That's right. Let's get to our plant-based thermogenics no dumb question. At Brohan914 on YouTube. Brohan.
Nice.
Guys, if you ever have Kylie on, my no dumb question
Whoa,
is,
specific to Kylie. All right.
has she ever tried to set up Trav What does this mean? If no,
Wow.
why not? If yes, please spill the tea. Oh, like set me up with a significant other.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now you're on the hot seat, Kai. Go ahead and answer that no dumb question.
No, I have not tried to set up Travis with someone.
You gave me some good info on one of the DMs I got one time from a girl that used to go to your high school, right?
A little intel for you. Yes.
So knew to stay away from that one. And so
Well,
Dip, dodge, duck that one.
I guess we've never really had the opportunity.
just gave me
but
the fair warning not to get set up with that one. So no, she has never tried to set me up with anyone.
I think the DMs spoke for themselves, Travis.
Well, DMs I heard can work every now and then, or at least swiping right.
Don't try and get off topic.
Hey-o.
I have not set you up with anyone.
What? You're right.
I have not, and I would not ever. No.
why would you not ever?
I knew Jason was going to answer. I wasn't going to ask that.
You don't want to know the
I'm
answer.
terrified to know the answer. Go ahead. Tell the people.
To be fair, most of my friends are dating or married.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. That's a fair answer. This has nothing
Other
to do with
than
me.
that, I think you're fine. I think you're doing great on your own, Travis.
Wyatt
you
said
have no problem.
Something tells me, Wyatt told me that I was naughty and I was sneaky because of what she was hearing her parents say about me.
Jason, why would you say that about your brother? That seems unfair.
I think she saw that. See, what happens is kids watch a lot of shows and they see things and they just mimic them when they're talking to people.
We'll go with that.
What shows?
Very
She saw it
common.
on a show. Yep.
All right. Well, that's fair. Well, things are not looking up for me.
You're doing great, Trav.
Any 92%ers out there still looking for someone to breed with. And that about does it for No Dumb Questions before I move on. No Dumb Questions, sponsored by our friends over at Accelerator.
Hey, you.
No dumb questions. Just
Accelerate Travis's dating life.
dumb people. Yeah. So, I'll tell you what, if these things did that, man, I'd be 3 babies in. All right now. Oh, man.
You were doing so well.
Thank you for joining in there, Kylie. And thank you to Brohan. 914, you got your answer.
Thanks, Brohan.
And there's probably no chance of me ever getting hooked up with Kylie's suggestions. Thank you. So moving on to bold topics for Kylie Kelce. Kylie, do you go by Kels or Kelsey?
I go by Kelce
Okay.
because
All right. That's
what he goes by.
yeah,
I mean, I'll go by
that's
either
fair.
one, really. But
That's fair.
definitely
All right.
Kelsey. I'm not going to correct somebody who says Kels.
All right, well, let's get into some bold topics for the one and only Kylie Kelce. Kylie, as you know this is a serious interview. We need truthful answers, and Jason and I are considered journalists at this point, being a year into the podcast game.
So, Travis, we just asked you if Kylie would ever tried to hook you up with somebody. But Kylie infamously fell in love with me on Tinder. So maybe she can give you some advice on your
Oh
dating
my
app.
gosh, what was your Tinder picture?
Well, there was a bunch of them. There was like 4 of them.
Yeah,
It's
but
like a
what was
little-
your first one?
I think it was
Was it
me
the-
on the
was-
sideline looking up.
No, it was.
Shut up! You
No, it
did.
wasn't. Here's the
Showed
problem.
everybody you were an Eagles player.
Yeah,
Wait,
I said, I am Jason Kelce, legendary Philadelphia Eagles
No, you
center.
didn't.
Swipe right if you're into the
Oh
Eagles.
my god, Kylie, you fell
he
for that.
No, he didn't. You want to know the best part?
Everyone did.
So on Tinder, you're such an ass.
Go ahead, Kai. Go ahead, Kai.
I found out years later that he thought that there was evidence in his profile that he played for the Eagles. And he mentioned something about, well, there was a picture of a TV screen
Yeah.
on a game. I guess it's when he was injured, or maybe
it
a
was
preseason. And it was part of his profile. And I said, there was no picture of you. There was no picture of a TV screen. Needless to say, it was cropped to fit Tinder. And so the only thing you could see was his face.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see
tell.
the lower thirds. You couldn't see the ticker.
You couldn't see any of the
anything.
graphics. All you could see.
You couldn't even see the Eagle emblem on his shirt.
All you could see was an athletic issued shirt on a sideline with a bunch of other people.
Oh, you're such a
tell. It was so discreet.
being a brat.
A love story. It's the start of a beautiful love story.
Yep.
I got to get back on Tinder and show a preseason sideline pic of me. You think, Kai, you think I should go stash or no stash? You think they recognize me if I did stash? They probably would. They probably think I was like an equipment manager if I just had the stash on.
For a Tinder bio, are you pro stash or not pro stash, anti stash?
I'm gonna.
You hear that?
This is. I heard it the other day. If you could stop. This is gonna sound a little harsh, but I think you should do the mustache because if they'd swipe right at your worst, then they'll love you at your best.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. That's good thinking. That doesn't even hurt my feelings. That's just smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
just genius.
Get those expectations down.
Yeah. Set them low.
It's really
Set them
down.
low.
So when did you find out that the guy you fell in love with on Twitter was a Neanderthal and just an absolute disgusting human being?
I mean, I think I told her about it right away.
Oh, it was in your Tinder profile?
It wasn't in the profile, but it was definitely
Well, his
communicated
profile
up front.
at the time was something to the effect of, I want to have deep, meaningful conversations and talk about getting married and having kids or something like that. Joke's on him. Who got the last laugh. It was pretty evident when the first time, well, I shouldn't say the first time, the second time that we hung out.
What happened the first time?
Well, you fell asleep 45 minutes after I got there on the bar table because he was too drunk. And
Not a good first date.
And then Bo Allen accomplished the most impressive physical feat of his life when he fireman carried Jason back to his apartment.
I could see Bo doing that. Honey Bobo. Shout out to Honey Bobo.
Exactly. He emphasized that someone who's dead weight is difficult to carry, but Jason fought him the whole way.
It's even harder than dead weight. It was It was
Physically fought him the entire way.
You're making me look stupid in front of this girl.
Yeah, I was wiggling free. I was making it difficult for him. It became a challenge halfway through. But yeah, definitely fell asleep, got a little bit too inebriated. But I was sober enough to know it was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my life. It was love at first sight, let me tell you.
He doesn't even believe in love at first sight.
I didn't until I met you. And it was like fireworks exploded at the door. The moment you walked through the door, Buffalo Billiards.
I want to feel those fireworks.
It was like, if you know, like when a movie has like an angel walk through doors and it's like there's only like one light on that person.
That's what happened. I've always wanted that to happen.
It was like I was in a movie for a split second.
And now you guys made a movie about yourselves.
He's so full of it.
I'm not making any of this up.
You just built up watching the documentary even more.
Second date went much better. I didn't black out or fall asleep.
I'm not gonna lie. Picturing you with angel wings right now is pretty cool.
Yeah, the second
She
time
didn't have wings. I didn't say wings.
Oh, like an angel with wings.
It was like an angel in a scene where the light is like only on that person.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. I guarantee
Have you ever seen
that's
Twilight?
not what he experienced.
It was like when the vampires
right
go
now.
into the sun in Twilight.
Kai, when you saw him, your world got dark, and you were like, I don't know if I like this.
No, I saw him and I thought to myself, you're wearing plaid and really leaning into the lumberjack thing. When we first met, he had the man bun still, a full beard.
Ooh.
Man
He
bun.
still had the man bun.
Just a big man bun
Lumberjack
guy.
with a man bun?
See, the man bun was helpful in the early stages of our relationship because I could
He used to
tell
do his
when
hair?
No, I could tell when he was blacked out because he would send me a selfie and his hair would be down. As soon as I got a selfie with his hair down, I was like, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
That's good.
I'll talk to
That's
you when you
pretty good.
re-enter the world. This conversation.
Pretty accurate too.
I bet if I dug deep enough in our text messages, I could find some old pictures of just Jason's hair down.
Hey, let your hair down,
Yep.
especially when you're drinking tequila.
All right now. I know about that now. We ask a lot of the guys or a lot of the people that come on to this show.
The door hadn't even fully closed behind him when the energy shifted. It was like someone had turned the volume knob of the room from a steady hum to a full-blown anthem. Travis Kelce walked in with that signature grin, coffee in hand, moving with the kind of momentum that suggested something bigger than a routine podcast was about to unfold. And in a city like New York City, where everything already feels cinematic, that extra spark didn't just stand out, it practically danced across the studio walls. He didn't ease into the moment. He burst into it. "Are we ready?" he called out, his voice carrying the excitement of someone who knew this episode was going to hit differently. The crew exchanged knowing looks. They'd seen Travis energized before, but today had a certain electricity, like the pre-game buzz before a championship kickoff. This wasn't just another episode. This was a family affair. Seated across from him was Kylie Kelce, already adjusting his microphone with the calm precision of someone who had mastered both the football field and the podcast booth. Next to Jason sat Kylie Kelce, whose presence brought a grounded warmth to the room, like a steady rhythm beneath an upbeat melody. Jason glanced up, catching Travis mid-stride. "You say that every week," he teased, a smirk forming. "But today, you look like you just won the finals." That earned a round of laughter, the kind that doesn't need warming up. It just exists. Kylie leaned in slightly, her smile soft but knowing. "I think New York excites people," she said. "This city has its own energy." And she wasn't wrong. Outside the studio walls, the city pulsed like a living organism. Car horns layered over distant chatter, footsteps weaving an endless rhythm through the streets. Inside, that same pulse seemed to seep into the conversation, giving it a tempo that refused to sit still. Travis nodded instantly, as if she had put words to a feeling he'd been carrying all morning. "Filming here feels like being on a big stage," he said. "Like every story matters a little more." And just like that, the recording began. The familiar intro rolled out, but this time it came wrapped in laughter from the very first second. There was no slow build, no cautious entry. It was like jumping straight into the deep end and realizing you're surrounded by people who make you float. Travis kicked things off by recounting his journey through the city that morning. "I stepped out of the hotel, and it felt like the whole city was running a marathon," he said, shaking his head with a grin. Jason chuckled, already picturing it. Kylie added, "That's New York. You either keep up or you get swept away." The conversation flowed like a river that had forgotten how to hit rocks. Smooth, quick, and full of unexpected turns. Soon, they drifted into behind-the-scenes territory. Travis admitted he had been looking forward to this episode more than usual. It had been a while since all three of them had sat down together, and that absence made the reunion feel richer, like returning to a favorite song after months of silence. Jason nodded. "Having Kylie here keeps us grounded," he said. "Otherwise, we'd probably go completely off track." Kylie raised an eyebrow, amused. "I'm not sure I can handle both of you at once." Another wave of laughter rolled through the studio, light and effortless. But beneath the humor was something deeper. A rhythm built not just on jokes, but on familiarity. On shared history. On the kind of connection that doesn't need to be explained, because it's already understood. Travis leaned back slightly, his tone shifting just enough to reveal a more reflective side. He talked about how New York fuels creativity. How the noise, the lights, the sheer speed of life somehow make ideas come faster, stories feel sharper. Jason chimed in with a memory. "Remember our first podcast setup?" he said. "One mic, barely any equipment." Travis laughed. "Now look at us." And there it was. A quiet acknowledgement of growth. Not flashy, not overdramatic, just real. Kylie, sensing the moment, gently steered things into a more personal lane. "Do you still get nervous before recording?" she asked Travis. He didn't hesitate. Every time, he admitted. But it's a good kind of nervous. Like right before stepping onto the field. Jason nodded, instantly understanding. That feeling didn't disappear just because you got used to the spotlight. If anything, it became part of what made the experience meaningful. As the episode unfolded, Travis remained the spark plug, constantly injecting energy into the conversation. He shared stories about random encounters in the city, moments that ranged from hilarious to oddly insightful. A quick chat with a stranger. A street musician who stopped him in his tracks. A fleeting moment that somehow stayed with him. Kylie balanced those stories with thoughtful observations, adding layers that turned simple anecdotes into something more reflective. Jason, meanwhile, played the perfect middle ground, teasing Travis just enough while keeping the flow steady. At one point, Travis paused, looking between the two of them. "I love this," he said simply. "We all bring something different, but together, it just works." Kylie smiled. Jason leaned back, nodding. "That's because we're family." It wasn't said for effect. It wasn't dramatic. It just landed. And somehow, that simple statement carried more weight than any elaborate speech could. The episode continued with stories that felt both ordinary and special at the same time. Travis talked about navigating the city, Jason shared his fascination with watching people move through their day, and Kylie reflected on how surprisingly warm the city could feel despite its reputation for being fast and impersonal. They weren't just talking about careers or big moments. They were talking about life, the in-between parts, the details that often get overlooked but end up meaning the most. As the recording edged toward its final stretch, the energy didn't dip. If anything, it settled into something more comfortable, like the last moments of a great dinner where no one wants to leave the table. Travis wrapped things up with genuine gratitude. He thanked Jason and Kylie, calling it one of his favorite episodes. Jason smirked. "You say that every week." But even he couldn't hide the agreement behind the joke. Kylie added softly, "I think people will feel how much fun we had." And she was right, because it wasn't just about what was said. It was about how it felt. When the microphones finally clicked off, the conversation didn't stop. It simply shifted gears, like a car moving from the highway to a quiet street without losing its momentum. Travis looked around the studio, taking it in. The lights, the equipment, the lingering echoes of laughter. "I want to do more episodes here," he said. Jason didn't hesitate. "I'm in." Kylie smiled. "Always." Outside, New York City continued its endless motion. Taxis moved like bright yellow currents through the streets. People hurried past each other with stories of their own unfolding in real time. But inside that studio, something had been captured. Not just a podcast episode, but a moment. A snapshot of connection, of shared energy, of three voices blending into something that felt effortless and real. And maybe that's why this episode stood out. Not because it was louder, or bigger, or more polished, but because it felt alive.